let's continue to get you the updates on the biggest story, because a month before Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first state visit to the United States, a federal court has now agreed to New Delhi's request to Washington for the extradition of Pakistani origin Canadian-based businessman Tahabur Rana to India, where he is sought for his involvement in the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. In a major victory for India's fight in bringing the perpetrators of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks to justice, the U.S. Magistrate Judge Jacqueline of the District Court of the Central District of California has issued a 48-page order saying that Rana should be extradited to India under the extradition treaty between India and the United States. Those developments that are now taking place, as we will be also going to our guest to exactly understand how big is this move that has now been decided as Tahabur Rana now to be extradited and will be now brought into India, as India has now signed this extradition treaty with the US, and according to the US-India treaty, extradition shall not be granted if the offense for which extradition is requested is a political offense. However, back in 2018, the Ministry of External Affairs has said that it had been able to secure the return of at least 66 fugitives since 2002, and 9 of them also from the US. Remember, there were US citizens as well who were killed and who were victims of this terror attack that happened back in Mumbai at the vital locations there in 2008. Now, in June 2020, Rana, who was rearrested in LA on the extradition request by India for his involvement in the Mumbai terror attack, soon after that he had been released from prison on health grounds as well. Let me straight away go across to Srinjoy, and then we also have a guest, Captain Alok Bansal and RSN Singh sir, joining us here on the broadcast. Good morning to all of you. Srinjoy, first to you, because to help us understand how big a victory it is, because it's been 15 long years as the people there, victims of the Mumbai terror attacks, are still awaiting justice.
Undoubtedly, not forget 160 odd people were killed and many others suffered because of this attack, which was planned, and Rana and Headley were part of it. Rana will, once he is extradited, will be able to stay in court, and this is where India wins, is that yes, Pakistan was responsible, the Lashkar-e-Toiba was responsible, and all these guys, Hafiz Saeed and Lakhvi and all these people planned the attack. Once that happens, it will be the equivalent of India's Eichmann moment, in the way that the Israelis got Eichmann and he was able to say to the world, Israel was able to get Eichmann to say to the world, I was responsible for mass murder. Similarly, this is when Rana will have to say, when he is asked who was responsible for the attack, who planned the attack? The answer is Pakistan. The answer is the ISI. The answer is yes, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, Hafiz Saeed, Lakhvi, all these guys. And this is the big moment. Yes, Headley has been interrogated by the Indian side. India knows all the details. But this is about trying Rana in court in India and then getting him punished. This is what India has been waiting for 15 long years, and it is now hopefully going to happen, because at this point, all those people who were troubled, people who have suffered because of 26/11 are now going to say, we will get justice. We
Absolutely.
are going to get justice.
Absolutely, because that lives, that over 160 people who lost their lives because of this terror attack, that also included US citizens as well. Captain Bansal, what do you make of this extradition that has now been ruled in the favor of India? Because the members of the conspiracy committed acts resulting in death with the intention of causing death, or a minimum committed those acts knowing that there was imminent dangers. There is sufficient evidence, what the US court has suggested now, Captain Bansal, that the elements for the murder would now be satisfied. Hence, extradition of Tahabur Rana has now been approved.
See, firstly, it shows that the US court has accepted India's grounds for extradition, and in fact tells the whole global community that India has a watertight case against this individual. It actually proves, which we never had a doubt, that Pakistan and its agencies and dreaded organizations based in Pakistan were involved in this dastardly act. And I think once he comes to India, as Sunjoy already said, that we already knew what all we had to know. But always there is a chance of getting certain new leads, new information. And more importantly, I think for the victims of those families, it will be a big, big satisfying moment that this person has been brought to justice and brought to justice in India. In fact, he's been brought to India. So it will be a big, big moment. It also shows that US is committed to adhering to these extradition treaty which regulations which in the past sometimes have not been fully complied with. So this also firstly shows geopolitically the closer growing congruence between India and United States, as well as it proves to the world. I think it's the clearest manifestation of Pakistan's involvement in this dastardly act.
Absolutely, because these evidences that were also submitted, Mr. RSN Singh, on part of India as well. And now that the request that has been ruled in India's favor, it would be the NIA that would be initiating its proceedings to get him back through diplomatic channels, sir.
No, firstly, it is decidedly a major diplomatic win. And this diplomatic win is has been only possible because the increase in India's strategic heft and the geopolitical congruency. There should be no doubt about it. And that is why it never happened before. So it is just, I mean, it's a reminder to the rest of the world, and especially our neighbor, that where does India stand today. So having said that, there is absolutely no doubt about it anywhere in the world. I mean, who did it, who all carried it out, who were the planners, who orchestrated it. But the motive is still to be established as to why, who were the players below the surface, and whether people who were involved in creating the specter of Hindu terror. And those are the questions that actually need to be answered. Yes, it's a diplomatic win. Pakistan, Pakistan will be, well, it doesn't make any difference to Pakistan, by the way, let me tell you. But it doesn't make a difference to them, because Pakistan is a state which subsists on jihadi terrorism in various forms, right from 1947-48. That is the staple diet. They will die without that. So that is not the issue. The issue is that I would expect that Rana, spills the beans as to who were the people within India who facilitated this attack. And for certain, I know that there were people in the Mumbai police, there were people in the Bollywood, there is a political class here which facilitated this attack. I would.
Well, that is something that would be a part of the investigation now that once he is brought back to India and the NIA takes over, because as you are saying that Pakistan will not be affected. Of course, Pakistan was not even affected when Osama was found in his own territory. But Srinjoy, how do we understand as far as the testimony of his childhood friend David Coleman Headley is also concerned? Because Rana here has apparently admitted of knowing that the LET terrorist was an organization that was planning such kind of attempts of a terror attack, and they were training camps, and he even provided financial support.
Undoubtedly, as far as Headley is concerned, Headley has been interrogated by the Indian side. They flew to America, they interrogated him, and all the facts are known. The fact that Headley came to India, he stayed at the Taj, he did a recce, he planned the entire thing, all of that is known. What is also known is that Rana was involved. And Rana was involved as much as the Lashkar-e-Toiba was involved, that Hafiz Saeed and his people planned it. Lakhvi was the operational commander. The ISI was behind it. The ISI gave all the material for it, all the weapons, all the grenades, all of that came from the Pakistani establishment. All of that is known. And all of that will be said in public, hopefully, when Rana is brought here. Rana will be asked, who gave you the weapons? The answer is Pakistan. the Pakistan Army or the ISI? Who gave you the plan? The ISI gave us the plan. Whose idea was it to attack Mumbai? Once again, the answer will be Pakistan. So it's a very big diplomatic victory. And once he's here and he says what he has to say, then India will rest assured that yes, the world will know, the world is aware that Pakistan was behind this. That is why Pakistan is really the epicenter of terror.
Absolutely, because that is a known fact, isn't it, Captain Bansal? But if you can help us and our viewers understand exactly how long will this actual extradition process also take place, because it's a diplomatic victory, yes, but it has been since 2018. The Ministry of External Affairs has been saying that it has been able to secure the return of at least 66 fugitives since 2002, and 9 of them coming from the US alone, sir. How long exactly when Tahabur Rana is brought back to India, sir?
See, the aim of these individuals is to delay the process by using various attempts. I personally feel Indian government would want to bring them as soon as possible. As soon as all the formalities are over, they would want to take custody of this individual and bring them back. And here I'd like to explain one thing, that irrespective of any interrogation that you may have done in the United States, the facts that can be extracted from an individual once he's brought to India and is under the custody of Indian police are going to be far more. And I tend to agree with Colonel RSN, who said that one of the most important facets which we would want to know is that who are the individuals in India. We know some of them have already been charged, but are there any missing links? Are there individuals who have remained under the horizon as far as collaboration with this individual is concerned, in so far as this dastardly act was concerned? So there are a lot of inputs which will come. I also do not agree that it will not affect Pakistan. It will affect Pakistan, considering the fact that Pakistan is going through a phase of crisis where it is dependent on external support. I think this sort of an act will tarnish Pakistan's image further, though the global community by and large knows Pakistan as an epicenter of terror. They also know that Pakistan's state policy has been sponsoring terror, but this would be an open and shut case. Here there would be evidence which is for all to see, and at a time when Pakistan is virtually on its knees.
Pakistan will never accept, isn't it, Mr. RSN Singh? I mean, you know Pakistan better than anyone, because Pakistan, that has been, traced undeniable and indisputable links between India and the acts of terrorism on Pakistani soil, and that the evidence we have seen dossier after dossier that is being submitted to Pakistan, but really no action has been taken till date, sir.
Yes, we should also not forget that this happens in the backdrop of the forthcoming, G7 and, Quad meet, and also impending visit of Mr. Modi to the United States of America. So that the message is very clear. The message is very clear, and I suppose a very stern message must have gone, from India to the US authorities. So that is a major achievement. But remember what Alok Bansal said, that last time when we carried out the interrogation of David Headley, it was on a foreign soil, and he answered the questions with imperial disdain, if I would say. He was absolutely dismissive. People went there, interrogated him. It was very perfunctory. Nothing came out of it. Nothing came out of it, because when he was so disdainful that he would say that this is enough, now you just get up from here. I don't want to answer any of your questions. So if, as Alok said, that once he comes on our soil, I think the story would be different. And maybe, let's all pray that, he comes and he's interrogated here, and he unravels the entire facet of this jihadi terrorism, this entire jihadi network that prevails or exists in Pakistan and in India.
Absolutely, because, sir, also it remains to be seen now that the extradition has been cleared, whether or not the US also imposes certain conditions on his extradition to India. That also will be clear as far as we get the entire document in our hands. Thank you very much to all of you gentlemen for joining us here in this morning, because this is coming across as a big development with the US court now consenting to Indian requests through the US government for the extradition of the Pakistani origin Canadian businessman Tahabur Rana to India, where he is sought for his involvement in the 2008 Mumbai terror attack.